Hello again. This time I'm going to talk to you about paper 3, which is our critical thinking capstone project. It's another 3-page paper. We're going to go through pretty much the same process as we have before. Your first piece is going to be kind of a mini proposal, and then we'll do the regular drafting and stuff. But let me explain a little bit here. So you will have a list of 10 scenarios that um, pose a problem, and you're going to use your critical thinking skills and the writing skills you've picked up this semester and explain how you would go about this, okay? So the first piece, well, the architecture of the paper is to choose a scenario from the list. Clearly describe the scenario and or the problem using an appropriate level of detail. So you're going to get like 3 or 4 sentences, and then we want you to kind of expand it. Okay, so what do you see this as the real problem? How do you get to it? Okay. And then you're going to analyze the type of data needed to resolve the issue. Okay, so ask relevant and productive questions, reflect on how your personal perspectives and assumptions may affect how you choose to do your analysis. Decide what will be important when creating a procedure, list, or plan of action, and state why you think those elements are important. Okay, so tell us what you're going to do, tell us how you're going to do it, and then actually do it. Okay, the resolution is to create a procedure or list or plan of action. Reflect on how your perspectives and assumptions have affected your choices. Finish the paper by exposing what you believe to be the weakest part of your procedure, list, plan of action and its greatest strength. Okay, so that's your conclusion. So the due dates. The proposal, the discovery part, is a 1-page explanation of the problem you've chosen and your preliminary answer to that problem prior to research. Okay. You should also include a list of the types of sources you will look for. Are you going to look for scholarly articles? Are you going to do some interviews? Are you going to work with industry kind of stuff? What are you going to do? So then the JAG Write draft is to add at least 2 pages to your proposal, so have at least 2 pages in your proposal. Rework where it's necessary, okay, and then post it to the JAG Write Collaborative. Once you have your feedback, write a reflection to explain what improvements and changes you'll make to the essay based on their feedback, okay? And then rough draft for instructor review, okay? The complete rough draft must include your list of sources, all sources you've used or plan to use, and a good and complete draft of the actual paper that works through the analysis and resolution sections. And then I'll give you feedback, and then you'll revise again and polish and turn it in. Okay. There are 10 possibilities. The first one is you need to purchase a vehicle. Okay. Number 2, trying to interpret and react to an angry friend's needs. 3, choosing a friend or partner. How do you do that anyway? You're a manager at work, attempting to be as objective as possible when settling a dispute. What kinds of disputes might come up? How do you fix them? How do you deal with them? Number 5 is cancer treatment options. And you can do yourself or your pet is diagnosed with cancer. Then what? Okay. Fake news. How do we know the difference between real news and fake news? What is fake news? How can you tell if a source is reliable? By the time we get to this, we will have covered that in, I think, 3 different chapters. So you'll have a lot of the politics of energy and environment. You're put in charge of the energy needs for a business or community or whatever. How do you decide what's the best source? Okay, multiple source. Number 8, you're a job applicant preparing for an interview for your future career. How do you do that? You're the first person at the scene of an accident or crime. What do you do? Walk through the steps. What are priorities? What hinders the situation? What is good for the situation? And the last one, number 10, the unruly customer. Somebody's getting in your face about something they're not happy about. And then why do we have the motto that the customer is always right? Okay, so that's paper 3. It's called the Capstone Project because you're basically choosing something where you can show us what you've learned this semester, what you can do with the stuff you've learned this semester, and it's a 3-page paper just like the others, but we're going to walk through it, so it won't be too bad, I promise. Okay. If you have questions, let me know. You know my email, and we'll get in this together. Okay.